What these fishermen encountered is still hard to explain. They sailed out of the harbor after a strange tip about a potential massive catch, but this crew got way more than they bargained for when they suddenly encountered this strange creature. They thought they caught a shark but turned pale when they realized what it really was. But before we start our story, smash the like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss any new stories. The docks were alive with the usual chatter of fishermen preparing for the next trip. Among them were Tom and Rick, two seasoned fishers who had spent years working together. They checked their nets, planned the route, and discussed the best spots to cast their lines. It was shaping up to be a calm day, but then, suddenly, the peaceful morning was interrupted by the loud blaring of boat horns. Everyone at the docks turned to see a couple of rival fishing companies sailing into the harbor, their crews cheering loudly. It was clear they had a big haul since their boats rocked with the weight of fresh fish. After the two rival fishing boats docked next to Tom and Rick's vessel, a broad, smiling sailor jumped onto the shore. "There's something strange happening at these coordinates, people," one of the men said, handing over a small slip of paper to Rick. "A warm waterfront has appeared out of nowhere. It's attracting fish from miles away. They're literally jumping out of the water like crazy. It's the easiest catch you'll ever make." Skeptical murmurs spread through the crowd, but when the man lifted the cover of his haul, all doubt vanished. The boat was packed with fish, more than most would catch in a week. The sight left everyone in awe. If the story was true, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Tom and Rick exchanged glances. This was too good to ignore. "We need some of this profit before this strange natural occurrence stops and we lose out on it," Tom said, his voice firm. Rick nodded, already turning toward their boat. The rest of their crew quickly followed, their excitement growing. The engine roared to life, the vibrations running through the deck as the boat prepared to leave. Rick took his place at the helm, steering the vessel out of the harbor. The further they went, the quieter it became. Just before the horizon stopped his vision, Rick saw movement in the water. Thousands of tiny shadows were bursting out of the water's surface and jumping into the sky. These fish would put money in the bank and food on the table for them and their crewmates, so without hesitation, they positioned their fishing vessel between this strange phenomenon and threw out their nets. But right before the thin roped nets hit the water, Tom noticed something else. There weren't just regular-sized fish swarming around them. Besides the bass, mackerel, and other food-worthy ocean fish, there was another fin in the water. This one was much larger than its neighbors and circled their fishing boat methodically. The crew's excited demeanor quickly turned stale. The large fin didn't belong to any known shark. The animal revealed itself in brief glimpses, flashing its back and dorsal fin. When the crew caught sight of it, they realized it was longer than their boat. The creature moved with intent, circling them like a predator. This was not typical behavior. Most sharks avoided boats, but this creature was different, testing them, gauging the boat's strength. The animal moved faster now, darting and reappearing unpredictably, its fin slicing the water. Then the situation escalated. The fishing net caught on the creature. For a moment, they thought it might hold, but the net wasn't built to contain something of this size or strength. Using its power, the animal twisted and slashed through the thick ropes with ease, freeing itself, and all the smaller fish caught in the net. Their entire haul was lost in seconds and their gear destroyed. Rick stared at the remnants of their equipment. The attack had been deliberate. The creature had targeted the net with precision, not by chance. It wasn't just deterring them, it was sabotaging them. As the team retrieved the ruined net and prepared to reverse course, the animal surfaced completely for the first time. The massive creature launched itself out of the water, revealing its enormous bluish-gray body. It was like nothing they had ever seen. As it crashed back into the sea, the resulting wave rocked the boat sharply. The crew, dazed, regained their footing and exchanged puzzled looks. What they had witnessed was undeniable. That's not a shark. The crew stood in stunned silence, their eyes fixed on the massive creature. As they tried to make sense of what they were seeing, the creature started leaping out of the water erratically, about 200 feet away. It wasn't graceful or playful. It looked frantic. Oddly, the smaller fish mimicked its motion. Rick scanned the water, troubled. The phenomenon of the warm waterfront no longer felt natural. There was a pattern here, but crucial pieces were missing. Maybe this isn't natural at all, a young crew member offered hesitantly. When pressed, he proposed that the warming water might not be a natural event. No forecasts had predicted it. And the fish weren't just gathering. They were reacting, possibly to something artificial. If a man-made disturbance was heating the water, pollution, drilling, or machinery, it might explain the erratic behavior. The idea struck them. Could the creature be guiding them? It had already sabotaged their nets, freed the fish, and shown intelligence. Now, it seemed to want them to follow. "I think it knows something we don't," Tom said. "And if we leave now, we might never find out what's really happening." Tom took a breath, heart racing. "We follow it," he declared. The crew hesitated but eventually nodded, united in their silent agreement. Rick steered the boat toward the creature. As they advanced, the water darkened, the atmosphere thickened, heavy and unnatural. "Do you smell that?" someone asked, recoiling. A thick, oily scent clung to the air, unnatural and suffocating. It grew stronger with every mile. The further they traveled, the more disturbing the scene became. A dark, oily film blanketed the ocean's surface, stretching endlessly. "Look!" a crew member shouted, pointing toward the horizon. Massive ships loomed ahead, silhouetted against the haze. The water around them shimmered with toxic streaks, the damage unmistakably man-made. Rick lifted the binoculars. "They're dumping something," he confirmed grimly. The realization hit hard. The warm waters, panicked fish, and erratic behavior, they all made sense now. The ocean's imbalance wasn't a mystery. It was a consequence of unchecked human greed. Rick's voice was heavy. "But what can we do? We're just fishermen." "We get proof," Tom said, pulling out his phone. He began recording, capturing the oil, the ships, and the evidence they needed. "We expose them. If we get too close, we're done," Rick warned. "We have to be smart." They kept filming for hours, carefully gathering clear evidence from different angles. When it was enough, Tom nodded. "Let's go. We have what we need." Just as Rick turned the boat, a deafening horn echoed across the sea. One of the ships had spotted them. "They've seen us!" Rick floored the engine. The boat surged forward, slicing through the waves as they fled the scene. The ship didn't pursue. It remained in the distance like a dark warning. The message was clear: stay silent or face the consequences. Back on land, they transferred the footage and sent it to authorities, news stations, and marine biologists. They had witnessed the truth, and now the world would too. The response was swift. Environmental groups and officials reached out. News networks aired their footage. Online clips went viral. Their discovery had struck a nerve and ignited a movement. To find answers, they compiled their evidence, including footage of the creature, and sent it to marine experts. They described everything they had witnessed. Now they waited, not just for action against the pollution, but to uncover the mystery behind the creature that had changed everything. Days later, a reply arrived. A biologist called Tom, her voice brimming with excitement. "This is incredible," she said. "I believe I know what you saw. It's extremely rare. Only a few people have ever encountered it." The crew leaned in, eager for answers. She explained calmly, "Only 2 of these creatures have been seen by humans before. It's a species of deep-sea whale once thought extinct. We believed they vanished decades ago. There hadn't been a single confirmed sighting until now, thanks to you. They normally avoid humans," she continued. "Shy, intelligent, and protective of their habitat. But this one approached you. It broke its natural pattern for a reason. It was defending its home, the ocean." The crew sat speechless. "So it knew," Tom whispered. "It wasn't instinct. It saw what was happening and it tried to stop it." The biologist nodded. "You were lucky. Most never witness anything like this. That day you weren't just fishermen. You became part of something much greater." You gave that creature and the sea a chance. News of the whale's role spread quickly. Environmental groups used the footage to demand stronger protections. The story went viral, and global attention followed. What started as a fishing trip sparked a movement. Authorities fined the companies behind the dumping. Investigations revealed long-standing violations. Stricter regulations were introduced, and ocean patrols increased. The sea now had defenders, and it began with a crew and a whale. "We saved more than fish," Rick said, gazing out over the ocean. "We saved a piece of history, something rare and beautiful." "That whale reminded us what really matters," Tom nodded. "And it saved us too. Without it, we would have sailed away, blind to what was happening. It showed us the truth." The ocean slowly recovered. With the pollution stopped, waters cleared and fish returned. The whale was never seen again, but they knew it was still out there, watching, protecting. They felt it in every wave. Their story became legend, shared in coastal towns and fishing ports. A tale of fishermen, a mysterious whale, and the fight to save the sea. It inspired others to care, to protect, to believe. For Tom and Rick, it wasn't just a story. It was the day their lives changed. They never forgot the moment the ocean called for help. Not with words, but with presence. And they answered. That day, they became more than fishermen. They became guardians of the sea. "Think we'll ever see it again?" one of the younger crew asked, staring at the waves. Tom looked to the horizon, thoughtful. "Maybe. Maybe not, but we'll always know it's out there. That's enough for me." The sea remained a place of mystery, its depths hiding wonders beyond understanding. But the crew knew this whale was more than a creature. It was a symbol of hope, strength, and the bond between people and nature. Somewhere, deep beneath the surface, it still swam. A silent guardian. It had emerged when it was needed most, then vanished into the deep. Still protecting the sea it called home. Still protecting life. The fishermen would never see it again, but they knew. It was there. Years passed, but the story lived on. People remembered the day fishermen followed a whale and uncovered a truth the world needed. Tom and Rick grew older, but the sea always called to them. And when the waves crashed against the shore, they smiled, knowing the ocean had a protector, and they had answered its call.